Hello and welcome to Midday Prime and a very happy Holi to all. In the next 1 hour, we will bring you all the Holi festivities from different parts of the country, stories and updates from India and the world. We will update you about the happenings in the world of business and sports as well, and we'll get you some interesting stories that are making headlines. I'm Ramnath Kovind. First up, the big news at this hour. US again issues a stern warning to Pakistan on terrorism, says another terror attack on India will be extremely problematic for Pakistan. Also asks China not to shield Pakistan and join the international community in calling on Islamabad to take action against terrorists operating from its soil. Pakistan violates a ceasefire along the line of control in Jammu region today. A jawan martyred. Army retaliates effectively in another encounter at Sopore in North Kashmir. 3 policemen injured. The nation celebrates the festival of colours, Holi, with traditional fervour and great enthusiasm. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greet people on the occasion. BJP likely to release its first list of candidates for the upcoming Lok Sabha polls. A senior BJP leader and Lok Sabha MP Kalraj Mishra announces that he will not contest elections this time. Major success for India against fugitive fraudsters. Nirav Modi arrested in London, denied bail to the 29th of March. Nirav Modi is wanted by Indian agencies in connection with the multi-crore PNB fraud case. In international news, New Zealand announces immediate ban on sale of semi-automatic and assault rifles after mosque shooting. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern terms it as an interim measure before new laws are put into place. And in sports, Indians create history by winning more than 350 medals at the Special Olympics World Games 2019 at Abu Dhabi in the UAE. Current medal tally stands at 368 medals, including 85 gold and 153 silver. The nation, especially North India, is awash with the colours of Holi from Banke Bihari temple in Vrindavan. The legend has it that Bal Gopal played Holi with great fervour with gopis, and the tradition continues till date. In fact, Holi festivities begin much in advance here and culminate on Holi Day. To Varanasi, where the gullies take on a colourful hue and the ghats turn into a stage for impromptu music festivals.
होली के हुड़दंग में केहू बुरा न माने भाई, ए दिन तक फ्री चाहे ली देवर के भौजाई। जीएसटी न लगे पर जीएसटी न लगे, सही बात है। यहाँ होली में जीएसटी नहीं है, एकदम फ्री, टैक्स फ्री भैया। रंग भर 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 शिकारी न हवावे ले है, मोदी जी रंग अबीर गुलाल उड़ावे। रंग
ISKCON temple in Banaras too was in a colourful spirit. What makes this special is the fact that natural colours are used. And it was a very special Holi for these very special children in Varanasi who played with flowers. And Holi did not leave the upper climes of Kullu and Garhwal untouched either. Kullu Holi is once again very special. It lasts 40 days, beginning from Basant Panchami. The festivity starts with the Lord Raghunath's chariot procession in Kullu, preserving an over 400-year-old tradition. And the spirit of Garhwali Holi was visible in the national capital. And our correspondent Urmilesh is joining us from Indirapuram in the national capital region. Urmilesh, it is that time of the year again when people splash each other with colours, they feast, they munch sweets, they dance, they sing. How are the people of NCR celebrating Holi this time around?
जी मुनमुन, अगर हम लोग गाजियाबाद की बात करें, इस समय हम गाजियाबाद में हैं, तो आप देख सकते हैं कि तमाम लोग जो है रंगों में नहाए हुए हैं। सुबह से ही लोग जो है होली खेलना शुरू कर दिया था। होली कहीं ना कहीं हमें आपस में जोड़ती है, एक दूसरे को जो है मित्रता जोड़ती है, प्रेम जोड़ती है, दिलों को जोड़ती है। होली हमारे देश में किसी भी संप्रदाय में कोई भी जाति हो आपस में मिलाती है। और हमारा जैसे विशाल देश है, यहाँ कई धर्म हैं, कई जातियाँ हैं, उसी तरीके से आप देख रहे होंगे कि यहाँ विभिन्न जो है लोग हैं और कई प्रकार के रंगों में नहाए हुए हैं। हमारे साथ कुछ लोग हैं जो सुबह से ही होली खेल रहे थे, इनसे हम बात करते हैं। बेटा, कैसी होली रही आपकी और कैसे आपने होली खेली आज?
हम सब ने बहुत एंजॉय किया और बहुत मज़ा आया।
तो क्या क्या खाया आपने होली में, कुछ बताएंगे हमारे दर्शकों को?
मम्मा ने सुबह गुजिया बनाई थी, वो खाया, मठरी, नमकीन, ये सब खाया।
तो आपने देखा कि किस तरीके से बच्चों में उल्लास है। मुनमुन, और हमारे साथ कुछ और लोग हैं, इनसे बात करते हैं। आपने आज क्या बनाया और क्या खिलाया है होली पे जो होली के लोग थे उनको?
मैंने कचौड़ी बनाई है, छोले बनाए हैं, भुजिया, नमक पारा, बहुत कुछ बनाया है।
आपने क्या क्या आज जो है किस तरीके से होली सेलिब्रेट की है?
आज मेरी मम्मी कस्टर्ड बहुत अच्छा बनाती है, तो मैंने सारे दोस्तों को अपने घर पे बुला करके कस्टर्ड खिलाया है। हैप्पी होली।
और मुनमुन यहाँ पे जो है मुनमुन यहाँ पे जो है कई देश के कई हिस्सों के लोग रहते हैं और ये जो अभी तक थोड़ी देर पहले तक जकीरा सरर है जो होली में गाया जाता है, ये सारा
हैप्पी होली इंडिया, जय भारत, जय भारत।
आपने देखा मुनमुन कि किस तरीके से लोगों में होली का उत्साह था और खास बात यह है कि लोगों ने जो है हर्बल होली खेली है, किसी को कोई भी ऐसा रंग नहीं लगाया है जिससे कोई नुकसान हो। मुनमुन
So eco-friendly colors are also being used by the revelers. If you could ask some of the revelers there, Urmilesh, about any special meaning that this festival of Holi has for them, because Holi ka Dahan that happened yesterday is seen as the victory of good over evil. Any message that they would want to give out on Holi, anything that they would want to say on the importance of this festival of Holi for them?
या मुनमुन, अगर हम होली की बात करते हैं तो होली कहीं ना कहीं हमारे पूरे देश को आपस में जोड़ता है, चाहे वो किसी भी धर्म के हो, किसी की जाति हो और कहीं का भी रहने वाला हो, वो जो है आपस में होली के दिन मिलते हैं, गले मिलते हैं, रंग लगाते हैं और कहीं ना कहीं चाहे दुश्मन ही क्यों ना हो उसको भी गले लगाते हैं और प्रेम का संदेश देते हैं। मुनमुन,
Absolutely. Can we see some more celebrations, Urmilesh, happening in Ghaziabad with some drums being beaten and more colors being splashed? Can we ask your cameraman to show us the entire expanse of the area where you are with celebrations?
या मुनमुन, अगर मैं बात करूं तो ये तमाम लोग जो आपको दिखाई दे रहे हैं ये अभी जो है डीजे की जो धुन थी उस पर डांस कर रहे थे, डीजे के धुनों पे जो है सुबह से ही नाच रहे थे और सेलिब्रेट कर रहे थे। कहीं ना कहीं हमारे साथ कुछ लोग हैं, इनसे पूछते हैं होली का क्या मायने है इस बार।
देखिए, बहुत सारे मायने हैं। होली एक जश्न का माहौल है और चूंकि यहाँ पर होली एक ऐसा त्यौहार है जिसको केंद्र या राज्य सरकार नहीं मैनेज कर सकते। हमारे पड़ोसी के घर में क्या है, वो कैसे मानसिक स्थिति से गुजर रहा है, ये कोई एक पड़ोसी ही जान सकता है।
आपने क्या खास होली पे किया है?
आज मैंने सुबह सफ़ेद चने बनाए हैं और दही भल्ले बनाए हैं और अपने परिवार के साथ खूब मस्ती के साथ होली खेली है। हैप्पी होली, हैप्पी होली।
तो मुनमुन, आपने देखा इस होली में जो है आपने देखा कि लोगों ने किस तरीके से होली का एंजॉय किया, विभिन्न प्रकार के पकवान बनाए और आपस में जो है पकवानों का जो है रसास्वादन लिया। मुनमुन,
Absolutely. It's well past 2 p.m. this holy afternoon, Urmilesh, and we can see that still revelers are playing Holi with full vigor and enthusiasm. There has been no dip whatsoever in the enthusiasm. People still splashing colors on each other. Urmilesh, we'll keep coming back to you subsequently for more on how people are celebrating Holi today. And there's also a Holi that is being celebrated in Bhopal. Along with the colors of Holi, Bhopal was awash with the tunes of Bundelkhandi folk songs as well. And not just that, inspired by the La Tomatino festival of Spain, Ahmedabad celebrated Holi with a difference. Tomato Holi was seen with the humble vegetable being flung in place of colors. The Spanish spirit, so to say, gripping the people of Ahmedabad. Foreign tourists in Jaipur too joined in the Holi celebrations, kicking selfies.
I like it very much. It's my first time here and it's amazing. So
a lot of people, the color, the music is really great. A great experience. I will come back.
So how you feel about this festival?
It's nice to happy.
Wonderful. India, wonderful.
So what do you like especially about this festival? What especially you liked about this festival?
Very nice.
Piace.
I think so. It's the first time for me. I come from Thailand. Now it's a happy Holi and play Holi. Very happy. Everybody in my group, 15 person, is very happy so much because I think happy Holi is a big lucky for everybody in here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Say happy Holi.
Happy Holi.
You also say. Thank you. So what do you say about this colorful?
Happy Holi.
So foreign tourists chipping into the celebrations as well, and at the Juhu beach in Mumbai too, tourists were seen celebrating Holi. Holi celebrations among political parties is rather muted. Most parties like the BJP and RJD have decided not to celebrate Holi as a mark of respect for Pulwama martyrs. Information and Broadcasting Minister Rajwardhan Rathore celebrated Holi in Jaipur, dedicating it to our defence and security forces. Rathore wished that this festival may bring peace, joy and prosperity to everyone's lives. He also called for efforts by youth towards building a new India.
इस साल ये होली के रंग पूरे भारत को शौर्य के रंगों से, सौहार्द के रंगों से, एक आत्मशक्ति के रंगों से भर दे। सभी स्वस्थ रहें, सभी समृद्ध हों, पूरा भारत आगे बढ़े, एकजुट होकर, एक भारत होकर, भारतीय बनकर, हिंदुस्तानी बनकर, माँ भारत की रक्षा करने के लिए हम आगे बढ़ते रहें। यही आज मेरी सबके लिए कामना है। और ये युवा शक्ति जो चारों तरफ है, पूरे देश में है, ये युवा शक्ति इस भारत को नए भारत बनाने में कामयाब बनाएगी।
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath celebrated Holi at the Swayam Sevak Sangh at Gorakhpur. Speaking on the occasion, he said that this is the Holi of India's progress and growth under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and that makes it even more special.
होली का पर्व ऐसे समय में पूरे देश के अंदर मनाया जा रहा है जब ये देश एक और सुख और समृद्धि की एक नई ऊंचाइयों को छू रहा है, तो दूसरी तरफ भारत ने अपनी सामरिक ताकत का एहसास करा करके देश के दुश्मनों को भी जो जवाब दिया है, स्वाभाविक रूप से ये होली इस दृष्टि से पूरे देश के लिए अत्यंत ही मंगलकारी है, शुभकारी है।
Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav also hosted a Holi celebration at his residence. The trademark Lal Topi was seen in different hues. His father, Mulayam Singh Yadav, was also seen celebrating.
कि जनता नए रंग में इस बार आने वाले समय में त्योहार मनाएगी। इस होली के त्योहार से जोड़ते हुए चुनाव का परिणाम भी अच्छा ही होगा।
And in Delhi, Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi also celebrated at his residence.
हमारा देश जो है वो एक समावेशी देश है। अलग अलग संस्कृति है, अलग अलग धर्म हैं, अलग अलग भाषाएं हैं, उसके बावजूद भी हम एक हैं। अनेकता में एकता का एक जीता जागता प्रमाण है हमारा देश। और हमारे देश में अलग अलग त्यौहार होते हैं और हम सब मिल करके उस त्यौहार को पूरे जुनून और जज्बे के साथ मनाते हैं। देश की एकता, देश के सौहार्द और देश की तरक्की के संकल्प को एक बार फिर लेते हैं। और ये जो अलग अलग रंगों का यहाँ पर गहवारा है और अलग अलग रंगों को आप देख रहे हैं, ये अलग अलग रंग जो है मेरे देश की खूबसूरती है, मेरे देश की ताकत है और हमें इस ताकत को मजबूत रखना चाहिए।
Staying with Delhi, Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia's residence was also awash with Holi colours. Congress leader Sandeep Dixit was seen in different colours on Holi. As they say, बुरा ना मानो, होली है। In Ghaziabad, poet-politician Kumar Vishwas also celebrated the Festival of Colours with full zeal. And in Kolkata, Mamata Banerjee too has announced that she won't celebrate Holi. However, State Power Minister Sohan Deb Chatterjee celebrated the Festival of Colours. Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Jairam Thakur also celebrated Holi. National General Secretary of BJP Kailash Vijaywargiya has said that one should use Holi as a day to renew old ties. Listen in.
और विशेषकर जब हम वर्ष भर काम करते हैं तो कई बार हमारे संबंध थोड़े में खटास आ जाती है। तो ये ऐसा अवसर है कि अपने हाथ से गुलाल लगाई, चेहरे पे लगाई और एक दूसरे से कहा कि सॉरी, माफ़ी करो, नए सिरे से हमारे संबंध। तो ये संबंधों में प्रगाढ़ता लाने का, प्यार बढ़ाने का, इस प्रकार का संदेश देता होली का उत्सव और इसका हमारे यहाँ बड़ा महत्व है।
Actress and BJP leader Hema Malini too was coloured in the hues of Holi in Mathura. Listen in to what she had to say.
Everybody, the whole ब्रजवासियों को मैं मेरी तरफ से होली की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं और मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि मैं आज इस होली के इस शुभ अवसर पर मैं यहीं पे हूँ, मथुरा में, वृंदावन में हूँ, मेरे घर में। और मुझे मेरे साथ सभी मेरे साथी लोग आए हैं, मैं इनके साथ होली का ये इस त्योहार को मना रही हूँ, बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है।
The United States has warned Pakistan that another terror attack on India will prove to be extremely problematic as it asked Islamabad to take more concrete and sustained efforts to rein in terror groups including the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Addressing reporters at the White House on Wednesday, a senior administration official said, "We need to see Pakistan taking concrete and sustained action to rein in the terrorist groups, mainly the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Taiba, in order to ensure that we don't have re-escalation of tensions in the region." Asked about the steps being taken by Pakistan in the aftermath of the Balakot airstrike by the Indian fighter jets, the official said that the US and the international community needed to see irreversible and sustained actions against the terror groups. He said in recent days, Pakistan has taken some initial actions by freezing the assets of some terrorist groups, making some arrests and taking administrative control of some of the Jaish-e-Mohammed facilities. But we clearly need to see more in terms of irreversible action, because in the past, after they made some arrests, they released these individuals a few months later. The terrorist leaders are sometimes still allowed to travel around the country and hold rallies. There's a statement coming in from a top US administration official warning Pakistan. A senior Trump administration official has also said that China has a responsibility not to shield Pakistan and should urge Islamabad to take action against terrorists, expressing deep disappointment over Beijing's decision to block a bid in the United Nations to designate Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Maulana Masood Azhar as a global terrorist. The official said, and you can see that on your screens, we think China has a responsibility to not shield Pakistan and join the international community in calling on Pakistan to take action against terrorists operating on its soil. He added, we believe that China and the US share a mutual interest in achieving regional stability and peace, and that any failure on the Security Council's part to designate Masood Azhar as a terrorist would run counter to this mutual goal that China and the US have. And now correspondent Abhishek joins us on the phone line. Abhishek, yet another clear signal going out from the United States to Pakistan that it needs to take much more than the cosmetic action that it has taken. It needs to take sustained, concrete, irreversible action against terrorist groups operating from its soil.
Manoj, Pakistan has been accused of long for shielding and harboring terrorists who spread terrorism not across the borders and into India, but also on the bordering areas of Afghanistan, Iran, and other parts of the world. Also, like we have also seen that even the United States that faced one of the major casualties in terrorism, the links were very much rooted in Pakistan and the areas adjoining Pakistan. So Pakistan has been long. Like people have been accusing Pakistan for long. The big development has happened post Pulwama attack, when the tension between India and Pakistan heightened, and India said that it will do all it can to ensure that terrorism is stopped spreading its menace in Indian soil. And that has kept the world on tenterhooks, and they have been continuously putting more pressure on Pakistan to act against all those terrorist organizations who have been situated and located in parts of Pakistan, areas of Balakot, and all those areas which have been kind of, nesting these terrorist organizations. So this is one thing that has helped Pakistan, actually helped India to ensure that a world around a pressure is built up on Pakistan to act against terrorism. And this White House official statement regarding this is just continuation of all those things.
Abhishek, we've seen how the United States has also ticked off China on the Azhar issue for coming to the rescue of Maulana Masood Azhar at the United Nations Security Council and blocking a UN ban. Is that yet another instance of how the international community is solidly standing with India against Azhar and against such terrorist commanders across the border?
We have seen that India's diplomatic outreach has made it so well that even in the United Nations Security Council, except China, all members were very much in line with India's proposition to ban Masood Azhar and put him in the prohibitory list, except China, which is a long-term ally to Pakistan, and it has its own geostrategic interests. Even USA has been very much critical to China's shielding of Pakistan. Recently, the Office of the State Department also said that China should do all to ensure pressure on Pakistan to act against terrorism rather than shielding it from world pressure. We have also seen that even in the United Nations Security Council, China is the only country which has put technical hold. However, other countries have other countries, in order to ensure that even if China has put a technical hold, actions are taken against all these terrorist organizations. They have initiated their own processes. We have seen France banning all the Jaish-e-Mohammed links and banning Masood Azhar. We have also seen that Germany has initiated and discussing process of how European Union can do this. Prohibition, putting Masood Azhar in its prohibitory list, which will entail a travel ban, financial operation ban across Europe. So, however, China is stealing Pakistan and saving its face in the aftermath of Islamabad attack. The world is not accepting China's claim or Pakistan's claim, and they are very much united against this globally fighting this global menace of terrorism and rooting it out from across the world, be it Pakistan or any country.
Absolutely. So pressure is only growing on China to change its stand insofar as Maulana Masood Azhar is concerned. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for having joined us with the latest updates. In some grim news from Jammu and Kashmir, an army jawan was martyred in Pakistan's shelling and firing in Sundarbani sector along the line of control in Jammu region today. According to defence sources, the forces from across the line of control resorted to unprovoked mortar shelling and small arms firing this morning in Pallanwala, Jogwan and Keri area, targeting Indian positions in which an army jawan deployed at a forward post in the area was martyred. The army retaliated to the violation of the truce effectively, and the exchange of fire lasted for some time. Meanwhile, an encounter is underway in Varpura village of Sopore in Baramulla district, which began this morning. It is a joint operation between the army, CRPF and police. The army has rushed in more reinforcements to the area. 3 police personnel, including an SHO, have been injured in the Varpura encounter. And now correspondent Neha Jalali is joining us with more details on the ceasefire violation by Pakistan. And Neha, I understand that this is the same area where India had lost one soldier on Tuesday morning in a ceasefire violation, which was unprovoked. And today we've lost another of our army jawans. What more can you tell us about the way India retaliated and more about the ceasefire violation from the Pakistani side?
Yes, indeed, the ceasefire violations from the Pakistani side have been unprovoked in almost all cases. Similarly, as in today, although the whole nation is celebrating the festival of Holi, but the army jawans, there has been this grim news from the border where where the army jawan was he was martyred today morning. There has been ceasefire violations along the Sundarbani sector, Palawala, Jogwan and Keri areas, in which this army jawan was martyred. A couple of days back also we had the news of an army jawan being martyred and 3 other jawans being injured, and that is indeed very unfortunate amidst all the celebrations that is happening all over India today.
Neha, has there been a clear spike in ceasefire violations from the Pakistani side, especially after the Balakot strike? And is this area where this violation in fact took place in Sundarbani sector of the Jammu region, one of those places where Pakistan has upped the offensive with ceasefire violations?
Yes, indeed, right. After the Balakot strikes, there was definitely an increase in the number of ceasefire violations across the border. However, if we look at the overall scenario in Jammu and Kashmir, over the past 1 year also, the number of ceasefire violations, they have increased quite a bit, and although there has been retaliation from the Indian side also, but it is usually the people living on the borders that are the most sufferers of these such ceasefire violations from Pakistani side.
Thanks, Neha, for those updates from Jammu. And now Salman Qazi is joining us with more details. Salman, what is the update that you have with regard to the encounter which is said to be underway?
Actually, there are 3 encounters that are right now underway. 2 of them are in Baramulla district and 1 was in Bandipora district. In Baramulla, there has been an encounter in Sopore, Varpura village, where the firing has been going on, and in a grenade attack in the initial phases of the encounter, 3 police personnel have been injured, and they have been taken to Srinagar for further treatment. And there is also 1 encounter that's going on in Kalantar area, in Tangmag area, where yesterday a hideout was busted, and the further operations were suspended due to the terrain and the lighting, and therefore the operation was started in the morning, and there has been a resultant encounter, and the firing is still going on there.
Salman, is there any information that you are picking up on the possibility of the terror outfits that these terrorists could be associated with?
There have not been any reports, but one encounter that's going on in Walpura, according to our sources, he's a local militant and belongs to Lashkar-e-Toiba. We don't know the identity of the militants in the Kalantan, in Tangmag area. They were in a hideout and in a forest. There are speculations that they could be foreigners and not locals, but right now we don't have any authoritative source on that thing.
Can you give us some details about the topography of both the encounter sites?
One encounter is going on in a area which is a village. It's these are villages along apple orchard. Another encounter is going on in a forested area, but there is habitation. According to our sources, the hideout was in a forest area, and after the hideout was busted, the militants in that hideout, they came in a village, and the encounter is going on in a village. The village is surrounded by forested areas, which is in Tangmag, which is part of the same forests which are nearby in Gulmarg. So it's a forested area, and therefore that's why the operation was also suspended last night.
Right, Salman. Thank you so much for those updates.
Thank you.
The BJP is racing against time to release the list of candidates for the first phase of polls. The last date of nominations for this phase is the 25th of March. The first list is expected later today. Several state core groups will meet later today to finalize the names of candidates. The CEC of the BJP, however, will meet tomorrow. Senior BJP leader Kalraj Mishra has announced that he will not contest from Devariya. He said that he will continue to fulfill the responsibilities given to him by the party, however.
पार्टी ने मेरा कई जगह कार्यक्रम लगाया है, हरियाणा का प्रभार दिया है और साथ ही साथ और भी प्रदेशों में मेरे कार्यक्रम लगे हैं। इसलिए मैंने सोचा कि जब बाकी के जगह पार्टी मेरा उपयोग कर रही है, तो देवरिया में जब मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं रह पाऊंगा तो चुनाव लड़ने का कोई औचित्य नहीं है। इसलिए हमने कहा है कि हम चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे, में कि हम चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे।
So that was Kalraj Mishra, and we'll now be going across to our correspondent Shailendra from the newsroom. Shailendra, we heard Kalraj Mishra say that he won't be contesting the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. Can we expect to hear from more veterans as well going forward, especially after the BJP had put the onus on those who are more than 75 years of age to decide for themselves on whether they want to be in this fray or not?
बिल्कुल इस बात के संकेत है कि तमाम जो वयोवृद्ध नेता हैं वो इस बार चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे बीजेपी की तरफ से, और खुद उन नेताओं को फैसला करना है। कलराज मिश्र जो हरियाणा के चुनाव प्रभारी बनाए गए हैं, देवरिया से सांसद हैं, उन्होंने इस बात का ऐलान कर दिया है कि पार्टी के तमाम राज्यों में उन्हें काम करना होगा संगठन के लिए, लिहाजा उनके पास उतना समय नहीं होगा अपने चुनाव क्षेत्र के लिए। स्पष्ट है कि तमाम वयोवृद्ध नेताओं को ये कहा गया है कि जो सूत्र बता रहे हैं कि वो खुद तय करें कि वो चुनाव लड़ना चाहते हैं या फिर इस बार चुनाव नहीं लड़ना चाहते हैं। तो ऐसे में संकेत ये है कि 75 वर्ष की जो आयु सीमा उसको पार कर गए तमाम वयोवृद्ध नेता इस बार चुनाव मैदान में नहीं होंगे। ये संकेत स्पष्ट तौर पर है। कलराज मिश्र ने खुद ऐलान कर दिया है। कई और वरिष्ठ नेताओं ने पहले ही इस बात का ऐलान किया हुआ है। जो उम्र सीमा के उस दायरे में नहीं आते हैं उसमें भी आप देखें, उमा भारती ने पहले ही पत्र लिखकर ये कहा कि वो इस बार चुनाव नहीं लड़ना चाहती हैं। ये कहा जा रहा है कि उत्तराखंड से भी जो है वयोवृद्ध जो नेता हैं वो चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे, नए चेहरे को मौका दिया जाएगा। तो निश्चित तौर पर जब सूची आएगी बीजेपी की तो उसमें देखना होगा कि जो तमाम जो वरिष्ठ नेता हैं उनका क्या फैसला होता है और वो चुनाव के मैदान में होते हैं या फिर फिलहाल पार्टी ने जो एक तरह से संकेत दिया है कि तमाम वयोवृद्ध नेता अगर चाहें तो इस बार चुनाव न लड़ें। तो ऐसे में जिस तरह से कलराज मिश्र ने ऐलान किया है तो तमाम जो वयोवृद्ध नेता हैं वो भी चुनाव नहीं लड़ते हुए दिखाई दे सकते हैं। जो पहली सूची आए उसमें हो सकता है उनका नाम न हो उनके लोकसभा क्षेत्र से जहां से मौजूदा में वो सांसद हैं।
Absolutely, Shailendra. In fact, all eyes will be on the first list of the BJP. Like you said, that list is expected this evening. Any expectations that one can have from The first list.
जी बिल्कुल, ये कहा जा रहा है कि 250 लोकसभा सीटों पर बीजेपी अपने उम्मीदवारों के नामों पर विचार कर चुकी है। जो 3 केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति की बैठक पिछले समय में हुई थी, कल ही केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति की बैठक काफ़ी देर तक चली। उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, महाराष्ट्र, उत्तराखंड समेत कर्नाटक, तमाम राज्यों की जो लोकसभा उम्मीदवारों के नाम, उनका निर्णय लिया जा चुका है। उत्तर प्रदेश से 40 के करीब नामों पर विचार हुआ, 40 लोकसभा सीटों पर। उस पर कहा जा रहा है कि उसमें से अधिकांश सीटों पर लोकसभा उम्मीदवारों की जो नाम है वो तय कर दिए गए। जो सूत्र बता रहे हैं कि इस बार तमाम कुछ ऐसे सांसद हैं जिनका लोकसभा क्षेत्र बदला जा सकता है। अगर हम उत्तर प्रदेश की बात करें तो गाजियाबाद से जनरल वीके सिंह एक बार फिर चुनाव मैदान में होंगे, ये सूत्र बता रहे हैं। इसके साथ ही साथ महेश शर्मा फिर से गौतम बुद्ध नगर नोएडा से बीजेपी की तरफ से उम्मीदवार हो सकते हैं। इसके साथ ही साथ तमाम चर्चित चेहरे हम जानते हैं। केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री राजनाथ सिंह लखनऊ से सांसद हैं और लखनऊ से एक बार फिर बीजेपी के उम्मीदवार के तौर पर वो चुनाव मैदान में उतरेंगे, इस बात के संकेत है। इसके साथ ही साथ नागपुर से नितिन गडकरी, जो पहले केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति हुई थी उसी में तय हो गया था कि नितिन गडकरी नागपुर से चुनाव लड़ेंगे एक बार फिर। और इसके साथ ही साथ महाराष्ट्र से जो तमाम चेहरे हैं, पूनम महाजन, किरीट सोमैया, वो अपनी जो वर्तमान जो मौजूदा लोकसभा क्षेत्र है वहाँ से चुनाव मैदान में उतरेंगे। जहाँ तक छत्तीसगढ़ की बात है, छत्तीसगढ़ में सारे 11 लोकसभा सीटों पर नए चेहरे, नए प्रत्याशी उतारे जाएंगे। 5 का नाम कल की केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति की बैठक में तय हो चुका है। 22 को जो केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति की बैठक होनी है, यानी जो कल बैठक होनी है, उसमें छत्तीसगढ़ की बाकी बची सीटों पर भी नाम तय होंगे। कल पश्चिम बंगाल को लेकर भी चर्चा हुई थी और पश्चिम बंगाल की 27 सीटों, 42 लोकसभा में से 27 सीटों पर नाम उम्मीदवार जो है वो तय कर दिया गया है। आसनसोल से एक बार फिर बाबुल सुप्रियो को चुनाव मैदान में उतारा जाएगा, ये जानकारी मिली थी। और जो पूर्व IPS अधिकारी भारती घोष बीजेपी में शामिल हुई थी, उनको भी चुनाव मैदान में उतारा जाएगा। और साथ ही साथ TMC के सांसद समुद्र खान बीजेपी में शामिल हुए थे, उनको भी चुनाव मैदान में उतारा जा सकता है पश्चिम बंगाल से। तो पश्चिम बंगाल से कई चर्चित चेहरे भी बीजेपी की तरफ से चुनाव मैदान में नजर आएंगे। तो निश्चित तौर पर देखना होगा कि जब अंतिम तौर पर पहली सूची बीजेपी की आएगी, क्या जो 250 उम्मीदवारों के नाम तय हुए हैं सारे लोगों के नाम पहली सूची में ऐलान हो जाएंगे या फिर कुछ नामों को रोका जाएगा, एक संक्षिप्त सूची आएगी, ये देखना होगा। कहा जा रहा है कि आज शाम तक बीजेपी की पहली सूची जारी कर दी जाएगी। जहां तक पहले और दूसरे चरण का सवाल है तो तकरीबन सभी उम्मीदवारों के नाम का ऐलान आज शाम हो सकता है। Munmun.
Absolutely. So all the prominent names are expected to be refielded from their current seats. Thank you so much, Shailendra, for having joined us. And we'll take a break at this point in time. Coming up after that, all the sporting action. Stay tuned.
An eye on big news of the day. With a close watch on developing stories, news of the nation, world, sports, markets and entertainment in a new style. Incisive analysis of the big stories by DD News reporters and experts. Watch Midday Prime English, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. only on DD News.
एक अभियान जिसने बदल दी देश की तस्वीर। जन आंदोलन में बदला स्वच्छता अभियान। गंदगी मुक्त भारत के लिए राष्ट्र हुआ एकजुट। देश के हर कोने से स्वच्छता की खबरों के लिए देखिए डीडी न्यूज पर विशेष कार्यक्रम स्वच्छता समाचार, सोमवार से शुक्रवार शाम 6:50 पर, सिर्फ डीडी न्यूज पर।
Welcome back. You're watching Midday Prime, and before the sporting action that we promised to bring to you, we'll bring you some international news stories in World Prime. UK Prime Minister Theresa May has requested the EU for a 3-month delay to Brexit and blamed lawmakers in the UK for blocking the deal. In a statement at Downing Street on Wednesday evening, May did not accept responsibility for the chaos, instead blaming members of Parliament for failing to back her deal. Earlier, May told the House of Commons that she had written to the European Council President Donald Tusk asking for a 3-month delay to Brexit until the 30th of June.
I passionately hope MPs will find a way to back the deal I've negotiated with the EU, but I am not prepared to delay Brexit any further than the 30th of June. Some argue that I'm making the wrong choice. and I should ask for a longer extension to the end of the year or beyond, to give more time for politicians to argue over the way forward. That would mean asking you to vote in European elections nearly 3 years after our country decided to leave. What kind of message would that send?
New Zealand has imposed an immediate ban on assault weapons, taking swift action in response to the Christchurch massacre and triggering renewed calls from leading American politicians for curbs in the United States. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said assault rifles and military-style semi-automatic weapons would be banned with immediate effect, making good on a pledge to ensure that nothing like last week's slaughter of 50 people ever occurs in the Pacific nation again.
The time for the mass and easy availability of these weapons must end. Today I'm announcing that New Zealand will ban all military-style semi-automatic weapons. We will also ban all assault rifles. We will ban all high-capacity magazines. We will ban all parts with the ability to convert semi-automatic or any other type of firearm into a military-style semi-automatic weapon. We will ban parts that cause a firearm to generate semi-automatic, automatic, or close to automatic gunfire. In short, every semi-automatic weapon used in the terrorist attack on Friday will be banned in this country.
The New Zealand police have confirmed that all 50 victims of the Christchurch mosque shooting have been formally identified, allowing burials to take place. 28-year-old Australian Brendan Tarrant had gone on a rampage at 2 mosques in the southern city, killing 50 people and injuring dozens more.
The identification process into all 50 victims has been complete, and all of the next of kin have been advised. That is a landmark for this process.
United Nations judges have ordered former Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic to spend the rest of his life in prison for genocide and war crimes, increasing his original sentence of 40 years. 73-year-old Karadzic was convicted in 2016 for the July 1995 Srebrenica massacre of more than 8,000 Muslim men and boys by Bosnian Serb forces. He was found guilty of leading a campaign of ethnic cleansing that drove Croats and Muslims out of Serb-claimed areas of Bosnia. A panel of appeals judges in The Hague imposed a sentence of life imprisonment after rejecting Karadzic's appeal against his original 2016 conviction. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu showcased his close relationship with the Trump administration on Wednesday, hosting U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo 3 weeks before a closely contested Israeli election. Pompeo met Netanyahu in Jerusalem, where both men hailed U.S.-Israeli ties under Trump, a popular figure among Israelis and a leader whom the Prime Minister has featured on election billboards. Rescue efforts are underway after a disastrous cyclone damaged Chimanimani district in Zimbabwe. Cyclone Idai entered the country from neighboring Mozambique on the 15th of March, causing damage in Manicaland, Masvingo and Moshonaland East provinces. The most severely affected area is Chimanimani district, where most of the deaths have occurred. At least 500 people have been reported missing in the valleys of Chimanimani, and rescuers are in a race against time to reach them. In the wake of Cyclone Idai, 3 Indian naval ships have been sent to Port Bira with relief material, providing humanitarian assistance to the disaster-affected areas. The first training squadron of the Indian Navy, Sujata, Sarthi and Shardul, operating in the southern Indian Ocean, were diverted to Port Bira following a request received from the government of Mozambique. Indian Navy has released a video of the rescue efforts. And time for all the sporting action now with my colleague Tapas Bhattacharya. Tapas, is India doing exceedingly well, both in the Special Olympics as well as the SAF Games?
Yes, absolutely. Indian team is doing exceptionally well. And let's start with the SAF Games. India will take on Nepal in the finals of the 5th SAF Women's Football Championship In the two semi-finals played on Wednesday, Nepal defeated Sri Lanka 4-0, whereas India outclassed Bangladesh 4-0 to storm into the finals of the tournament. For India, Indumati scored twice, while Dalima and Shivar and Manisha got 1 goal each to their name. India's Indumati is the leading goal scorer of the tournament so far with a total of 4 goals, and she is closely followed by Nepal's Sabitra Bhandari at the second position with 3 goals. It is the 5th time that India has managed to make it to the finals of the tournament, whereas Nepal has reached the final for the 4th time. Well, now news from the Special Olympics. The specially determined athletes of Team Bharat at the Special Olympics makes history. India crossed the 300 medal tally mark at the Special Olympics World Games 2019. And this is by far the best performance by the Team Bharat at the Special Olympics. Indian team finished the games with 368 medals, which includes 85 gold, 154 silver and 129 bronze medals. More in this report.
The fever of the Indian Premier League is at its prime, with the tournament set to begin on the 23rd of March. However, there's Special Olympics going on in the United Arab Emirates, and where Indian athletes have been performing exceedingly well. One look at the event says it out loud that India are excelling. When the IPL is around the corner or is on, the entire sporting attention shifts to the glitzy tournament. In fact, on the same day as the IPL, the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup in hockey also begins. But there's not much focus on that. While IPL continues to be the centre of sports news currently, India's success at the Special Olympics must not be sidelined. The medals are won across athletics, aquatics, cycling, judo, powerlifting, table tennis, roller skating, badminton, basketball traditional, handball traditional and football 7-side female. The 15th Special Olympics World Summer Games are being held in Abu Dhabi from March 14 to 21st under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE's Armed Forces. With more than 7,500 athletes from over 192 nations competing, the Special Olympics World Games at Abu Dhabi 2019 have become the largest sports and humanitarian event in the world. It has set the benchmark for the most unified games in the 50-year history of the Special Olympics movement. This is India's 9th participation at the Games, and India is participating in 14 out of 24 Olympic-type sports featuring the World Games. Indian athletes performed beyond expectations in the roller skating event, winning a total of 49 medals at the Abu Dhabi National Exhibition Centre. So far, the highest number of gold medals have come for India in roller skating. In the sport, India won 13 gold, 20 silver and 16 bronze medals. Mukesh Shukla's report, DD News, Abu Dhabi.
Meanwhile, Special Olympics Team Bharat were felicitated at the Indian Consulate in Dubai with the Victory Cup. Team Bharat, with their indomitable spirit, has displayed their winning prowess and won more than 360 medals so far in various categories. Well, that's all from Sports Prime. Back to you, Munmun, for more news and updates.
Thank you so much, Tapas, for that. And now it's time for our next segment, Life Prime, where we bring you stories from the world of art, culture, cinema, fashion, science and innovation. Stories that are bringing smiles, stories that are changing lives. Bollywood actor Vivek Oberoi attended the trailer launch of his upcoming biopic film PM Narendra Modi in India's showbiz capital Mumbai. The film features Oberoi playing Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi through various stages of his life. The trailer has already garnered over 2 million views on YouTube since its release. The film will release across the country on the 5th of April, a week before India starts voting in a general election.
आज रात चैनल पे the end of Narendra Modi.
एक मामूली चाय वाला इस देश का पीएम बनेगा।
सबकी चाय, मोदी की चाय, काका ले लो चाय। ए नरू, तू झंडे को देख के ऐसे क्यों करता है? तू मंदिर को देखकर ऐसा क्यों करता है?
माँ, मैं सन्यासी बनना चाहता हूँ। जो देश को चाहते हैं, वो और कुछ नहीं चाहते।
आरएसएस सिर्फ एक संगठन नहीं है.
And on that note, we come to the close of this edition of Midday Prime, but we will keep you updated on all the developments in the BJP camp with the first list expected today. Keep watching DT News.